Hi everyone, my name is Lily Dimitrakis and today I'm going to be telling you how to obtain a work visa in China. So the agenda for today is I'm going to be going over what the visa is, the cost and how to apply, the travel documents that are required and if there's any time limitations, and then I'm going to be talking about your spouse or your partner working in China and for if there's any implications for same-sex marriage or common law partners. So in China, their Z visa is the one where you go that is issued to foreigners who are going for a paid job or commercial entertainment purposes. And so how to apply and the costs associated with it. So a Canadian citizen needs to pay a fixed fee no matter how many entries they apply for or no matter what visa they're applying for. And the fee is $142 plus tax. To apply, you can go to the Chinese embassy, the consulate, or other diplomatic missions in person for the application. You can also have a friend or a travel agency apply for you on your behalf, but you cannot mail your application in, they won't accept it. So some travel documents that are required is number 1, a passport with at least 6 months before expiry and 1 blank page left at minimum, an application form that is truthfully completed, a recent photo that you're going to attach to your application form, a work permit. Applications need to submit one of the following work permits to be obtained through their employer in China. One is the foreigner's work permit, the registration certificate or resident representative officers. Another one is an approval document for commercial purposes, and then one is an invitation letter to foreigners for offshore petroleum operations. Lastly, some cases will need to submit supporting documents. And this can possibly include a medical form or a criminal history check. Even if you aren't supposed to submit a medical form, they might still need to take a medical check once you get to China. So some of the time limits to work in the country is, so once you get to China on the Z visa, you're only allowed to stay for 30 days, but once you get there on that 30 days, you and your employer must seek a temporary residence permit, and then for the duration of your contract, and that can be for a minimum of 90 days to a maximum of 10 years. And the temporary residence permit allows you unlimited exits and re-entries back into China. So your spouse or your partner working in China, so for your spouse or your partner to come meet you in China, they need to apply on the S1 visa by submitting an invitation letter from the relative that has the Z visa in China already. And then with that, you're also going to need to submit a proof of relationship, which can be a marriage certificate for your spouse or a birth certificate for your child or proof of kinship. And once they arrive, they can apply for the temporary residency as well, which can allow their stay to be longer and when they're able to work there, because on an S1 visa, you're not allowed to work. And so implications for common law or same-sex marriage. So as long as they can prove that they're a married couple with a marriage certificate, there will be no issues for same-sex couples. But for common law partners, it will be more difficult because there's no certificate that proves that you're married. So you can either go to your government and see if they can do anything for you, or you can just apply on a Z visa as well. So some of the limitations for working in China is that you must be within the age range of 18 to 60 years old. And then you will be denied entry if you have been ever previously deported in another country, if you have an infectious disease that could endanger the public health of China, if China feels that you may be a threat to national securities and you might destroy public order and you might be engaged in criminal activities, if you've committed fraud in your visa application, and if you're unable to cover the visa costs, and lastly, if the officer believed that it would be inappropriate to issue a visa to you. So thank you for listening to my presentation on Z visas in China.